we go. We're up. Oh, they can hear us on the screen. We'll have to fix that.
So pull up a chair, let's stir up the chat. The mashup is here for the chill and the chat. No strips, no rules, just friends and their craft. Come hang with us, we're having a laugh. Welcome to the mash, shut up the lace to unwind. Three pals in a circle with music on the mind. Pour a glass of scotch and let the good times flow. Shoot in the breeze on the late night show. It's the mashup where the stories collide. Music and whiskey with laughs on the side. Guests drop by, we keep the vibe alive. Tune in now, let's take this for a ride. So pull up a chair, let's stir up the chat. The mashup is here for the chill and the chat. No strips, no rules, just friends and their craft. Come hang with us, we're having a laugh. Welcome to the mash, shut up the lace to unwind. Three pals in a circle with music on the mind. Pour a glass of scotch and let the good times flow. Shoot in the breeze on the late night show. It's the mashup where the stories collide. Music and whiskey with laughs on the side. Guests drop by, we keep the vibe alive. Tune in now, let's take this for a ride. So pull up a chair, let's stir up the chat. The mashup is here for the chill and the chat. No strips, no rules, just friends and their craft. Come hang with us, we're having a laugh. Welcome to the mash, shut up the lace to unwind. Three pals in a circle with music on the mind. Pour a glass of scotch and let the good times flow. Shooting the breeze on the late night show. It's the mashup where the stories collide. Music and whiskey with laughs on the side. Guests drop by, we keep the vibe alive. Tune in now, let's take this for a ride. The mashup is here for the chill and the chat. No scripts, no rules, just friends and their craft. Come hang with us, we're having a laugh. Welcome to the mash, shut up the lace to unwind. Three pals in a circle with music on the mind. Pour a glass of scotch and let the good times flow. Shooting the breeze on the late night show. It's the mashup where the stories collide. Music and whiskey with laughs on the side. Guests drop by, we keep the vibe. Let's take this for a ride. So pull up a chair, let's stir up the chat. The mashup is here for the chill and the chat. No scripts, no rules, just friends and their craft. Come hang with us, we're having a laugh.
Here we go. Welcome in, folks. How is everybody?
Hey.
Billy,
We're doing all right.
how are you, Billy?
Bloody fantastic, mate. How's this? The inaugural.
Well, I just want to know one thing. How was your day?
What's that?
Mine was fantastic, mate.
Yeah?
I'm on holidays at the minute. It's my birthday in a couple of days' time. Mate, it doesn't get any better than this. Bit of time off after rolling out a brand new telephony platform for our call centre at work, and just now chill banging.
If guys in the chat, if you welcome in, if you would let us know if everything is sounding okay and looking okay, that would be wonderful. It would help us out a great deal. My pals is in the house, brother Pete, Tiger Heads.
Hey, my hoagie brother.
Jen.
From another
Hey,
brother.
I saw Jen's there. Miz is there. Go check out Jen, guys. Go check out Miz.
Absolutely. I caught a stream earlier today, and wow, what a stream. Awesome work, Jen.
I predict a future guest spot for Jen.
Ooh.
Get the
I reckon
right.
so.
Speaking of guest
I think we can
spots,
second that one.
speaking of guest spots, we have a very, very special guest, the legend from WA, Damo Drummer in the house. He's I'm going to have a chat to him very soon. Very excited, and we're going to say a huge thank you to Damo for being brave enough to be our guinea pig first guest.
Guinea pig. Hey, Disky in the house.
Disky, good to see you, the lovely Lynn.
G'day, Lynn. How you doing, darling?
I hope you're all right, Lynn. Hopefully you're holding up and staying positive up there.
Is it, all I need to know is it raining, Disky?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is it raining? Well, hang on. I'm the closest to it. I'm saying at the moment no, but
Honey Lynn's there.
We got the guru.
We got the two, both Lynn's. We got the guru. We got Wazza. Paul, you.
G'day, Wazza.
Oh, you're a little louder than Billy and Metal. A little less louder.
Oh, okay. I can turn me down a bit. That's easy.
Apparently, no, you're louder than Billy, and apparently I'm less louder.
Okay.
Oh, that's because it's the start of the night, mate. As we go on, I might get louder, so it's okay.
Right, so I've just bumped Billy and Metal up, and me back a bit.
Yep.
There we go.
Good to see you guys in. Thanks for coming in, guys. First show. How are we all feeling tonight? Billy and
Oh, mate, as I said before, absolutely chuffed. I've been so excited for this. It's just to see it up now and running. How good is this? And here's cheers to Rowan the lawyer.
to Rohan.
Cheers.
You know what? Just for the fun of it too, we've actually added a chat command into the chat now, guys, and everyone can use it. It's !Rohan, and it will come up with something in a little bit. It's I'm changing the text on it to come up with text in the chat, but it will activate something on the screen. Looks like it's not working right now, but it's just a bit of a teething issue.
Random user, thank you for being here.
Oh, Random, welcome in from On the Minute Express, one of my boys from the gaming community.
Well, that's cool. Good to meet you.
Libra Red Rose, welcome in, Libra. One of my trusty leap pals from On the Minute Express. She's been up all night. She's been up with old man before we came in here. So good to see you here, Libra. Hopefully you're staying in one piece and you're feeling better. Yeah.
That's an epic effort.
That is an epic effort.
It is.
Libra is our night owl.
Parker's in the house as well. Good to see you, Parker.
I will say, this is probably going to be better than being at Walmart, just saying.
ever so quietly.
Did you say better than being at Walmart? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Better than being at Walmart.
Better than being
now, I have introduced the boys to your video, Parker, so it was hilarious to watch. So thank you very much for sharing that with me. Only the three of us have seen it, the Billy, Paul, and I.
DJ Melly Mel. Happy birthday
Melly.
the other day, darling.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And your birthday's coming up too soon, isn't it, Metal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I turned the big 42, mate. I'm gonna hit the 42 mark.
I got the big
my birthday is actually not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yeah, you're a week after me. That's right. Yeah. Sensational. I tell you, mate, the big 60 next year. That's gonna be. Mate, we'll get that trip going, Paulie, and we might have to get Metal to come with us. It's going to be a big trip.
Hey, Damo's birthday's next Wednesday.
Yeah, Damo's is next Wednesday, isn't it? I think sometimes.
Who's this?
Damo.
Ah, dude, we're all June babies.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
well, you know when Father's Day is, don't you? It's in September. Just saying.
Do you remember what happened in September? Sorry. Look, welcome in, guys. Let's get started with the show. I reckon, Paul. Let's go.
I reckon that sounds like a great idea. I would like to,
because we're sitting here just chatting, and we need to get on with introducing this guest.
You bet.
Our poor old guest in the green room, and let's invite him up on stage.
Well, we put on the platter. Yeah, the rider was fairly extensive. No yellow M&Ms and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Western
No
Australia,
Gatorade.
Sparkling water too. He wanted sparkling.
the one and only Damo Drummer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring him in and say good day and find out who is he? Who is this fella from Western Australia that plays drums?
There we go. We're all in. We're all here.
Nice to have you in, Damo. How are you, brother?
But that's a smooth transition. I'm well. How's everyone doing?
Exceptionally well now, especially all the better for seeing you, Damo. And that exceptionally smooth. It's just I'm a button pusher from way back. That's me. That's my job. It's the only job I got.
That transition is smoother than my scalp right now. Well done.
Hey!
He pushes everyone's buttons.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was leading to. I was actually going to say, Damo, you made me feel like I should have shaved mine clean for the night.
Right.
Maybe I definitely need to.
Well, I noticed the Wi-Fi signal actually gets better every time I shave my head.
If I'd known that last night, I would have done it.
I'll take all the bandwidth I can get, thank you.
Look, Damo, it's all right. You get even better if you're using the new Bessos internet service, which we won't say, and using their satellite internet, because it could bounce a bit more.
Oh, okay. I'm down.
I'm about to assign a role here. Billy, would you be kind enough to? Well, actually, Billy or Metal, you can take your either. Keep an eye on the chat, please, for any questions. We'd invite questions from the chat. We're going to grill Damo. We've got him on a fork over the fire, and he's see the fire. That's the fire at the back there. He's ready for grilling. We're going to take him through his paces and find out who is this bloke. And I've got to say, Damo, love your YouTube channel. I learned all about my in-ear monitoring from your YouTube channel. Sensational. So why don't we start with some questions? So
Okay.
Well,
here we go. We've got.
Who is he? What's he do? Okay.
Well,
that's from my lovely partner, Tiger His.
Well, Damo, maybe you could introduce yourself first of all, and just give us a little bit of who is Damo.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. So my name is Damien, aka Damo Drummer, and as I always say when people are on my stream, I'm a drum streamer from Perth in Western Australia. And you know, I came to Twitch about 4 years ago. Have spent most of my life from adolescence upwards playing drums, teaching drums, selling drums, repairing drums, touring in bands, the whole thing. And so with the advent of COVID, where nobody could do gigs for a while, we were sort of forced to find other ways to get our band out there and doing things. Now, we originally started on Facebook. We did some Facebook Lives, and then somebody had actually told me about Twitch. So probably just over 4 years ago now, I moseyed on over here to see what it was all about. And yeah, I'm still here. I just kind of stayed. So it's been good. It's been really good.
Sounds very familiar. That's almost identical to what happened with me getting into streaming. It was pandemic, Facebook, and then introduced to Twitch by Peter Northcote. Watching him, and I went, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I'd really like to be able to play like that. We've skipped that bit. So, Damo, tell me, what's the hang on, I was about to say what's the meaning behind your Twitch name, but I guess it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Oh, you've got to start with the hard questions. It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
So, question 2 was
we call him Captain Obvious, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all I can remember too. Look, drummers, we can't count past 4. There's not a lot we can do. So actually, to tell a true story, my name wasn't originally Damo Drummer. It was something else, and it just didn't stick. And so I made it even more obvious, and I've just run with that ever since. So
well, I get Paul Tentatainer a lot.
Oh, dude, or Paul the Entertainer.
Paul the Entertainer.
I'm okay with that one. Tentertainer, not so much. Damo, what's your hype song before you go live?
Hype song before going.
Do you have a hype song, and if so, what is it?
Well, to be honest, I tend to just prior to going on stream, because I stream music and take requests and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
One of the things I'll do before I go live is I'll actually have like a collection of songs that are just there sort of as a backlog.
Yep.
So if people are not requesting, or if I'm sort of waiting for people to build in the channel, I'll have a couple of songs there to play that are just on random. And so when I'm setting up to stream, normally I'll actually go and put a dozen or songs in first. So I'm not really listening to sort of one song to hype me up. I mean, look, honestly, to be honest with you, the going live is the hype. I love pressing that button. It's like, now I'm going to go live and I don't know what's going to happen. And that's by design. It's actually one of the things that keeps me coming back, because it's just different. Every stream is different. Yeah, I'm playing drums every time, but I don't know what I'm going to play. I don't know who's going to be on, who's going to be watching. And unlike a real gig, I don't really get anything thrown at me. So it's safe.
Streaming's like a box of chocolates, Damo. You'd never know what you're going to get.
I mean, look, there are actually ways you can actually interface things to be thrown at you on a stream. I have seen it done with Twitch chat, where people have done it where they've had pies, and then if you pay a certain amount of bits, it flings the pie at you.
No, that's unhinged. That's unhinged. Even at gigs now, I get protection at our gigs. So if any of us have seen some of my live streams when I stream with my band, one of the venues we play at literally has chicken wire in front of the stage.
Oh, nice.
So
Blues Brothers, Country Bunker.
What's that venue?
No, it's an Americana themed sort of rockabilly / country bar. But the chicken wire is both hilarious and actually kind of important.
That's awesome.
Well, how often do you play there?
There I upped our fee, so we're playing there now about half as much as we were. We used to play there, I'd say probably once a fortnight, twice to three times a month. It used to be pretty busy there. That was with my trio. And those guys, that's actually a pretty good unit, that band. And so they rotate bands. I think most places do that now, but they've called us back a fair bit because we're actually really good for that venue, partly because we've been doing it a long time and we know how to perform and we're good musicians, but we also have a set list that really suits that venue. And so they've recognised that and they're calling us back.
Being a fellow gigging musician, did you ever have a song that was your go-to prior to a live performance to hype you up? Going on a slightly different tangent to the first question.
No. I don't know why, because I know that people do that. They have things to sort of get a move when you get in the car and you put on your car music so you can hype yourself up to go to that cubicle at work. But no, and maybe it's because I listen to a lot of music that I don't really. How do I explain it? I've always had this thing where if I listen to certain music, I play like that certain music. And because I play in quite a few different bands, maybe it's just one of those things that I've tried consciously not to do. So I've been in metal bands and country bands and playing all sorts of stuff, and I notice as a player, like if I'm listening to an album that day, some of the feels or some of the drum feels will sort of come out, or that style will come out, which is kind of cool. But it can also sort of lock you into thinking a certain way, and I'd rather just have my head clear, I guess, is a way to put it.
Fair enough.
That's a really good answer. It's probably not true at all, but it's a good answer, right?
Well, I famously...
I think it's been proven. I think I know where I've seen you before I met you on Twitch. I think it was somewhere on Reddit. It was this thing about the drummer at the wrong gig. He was playing for a Japanese band, but he was wearing a full a big suit, like a massive character, and he was playing like death metal drumming to a very poppy Japanese song. So I was trying to work out who that drummer was. Was that you?
No, it wasn't me. So that's actually a fairly famous drum icon called Nyango Star, Nyango, Nyango Star, one word. Yeah, that's been around the net for a long time. Yeah. Hilarious. If you've not seen it before, you should have a look at Nyango Star. It's
I'm going to check it out.
Awesome.
So I've got a question.
Go on, Billy.
I've got a question for Damo.
Yep.
How did you start? Because my dad was a drummer, and I always wanted to be a drummer. And he said, well, we're not having drummers in our house, too much noise and blah, blah, blah. So how did you start? How did
we have the same
How'd you
dad?
get the kick in? I think so. I think so.
So I originally wasn't playing drums. I have two brothers. I have a younger brother and an older brother. And I was actually invited to play clarinet when I hit high school, and learned that for a while, probably about, I think I did 5 or 6 years of that. And I was in the school orchestra and getting lessons and doing sort of the formal training, but it never really sort of gelled with me, right? The parents wanted me to do it. I kind of wanted to do it because it wasn't recorder. But as you sort of grow up, you're sort of like, I don't listen to many bands with clarinets in it. Now, meanwhile, my brother one day, and I'm probably about 13 years old at this point, my brother comes home with the drum sets, my older brother. And this is the coolest thing. Right, and so he would go to school or go to work, and I'd come home and I'd be playing on it, and he'd come home and we'd get in fights and all sorts of stuff. But I couldn't not go on it. It was just so cool. So I actually credit my older brother for putting me on the drums. It's when you see a drum kit sitting there, it's like, oh wow. Even if you've never sat behind a drum kit before, there's a certain thing that happens when you see it. It's like, wow, this is what a drum kit is, and you just instinctively want to hit it. So I jumped on it and I learned some songs, and eventually he got sick of the competition. He went on to play guitar. He actually went to MIT over in Hollywood there and got quite good at guitar. He's not really playing much anymore, but we kind of went our ways, and I stuck with drums. And ever since that time, I think officially I probably started when I was around 15. But I'd done other music. So learning it, there was sort of, I wouldn't say shortcuts to learning, because there aren't shortcuts, but if you can read music on other instruments, it's not too hard to translate that to drums, and therefore you can pick up a book and you can start learning. It was almost accidental. My parents were not interested in it at all. They didn't want me to play drums. It was way louder than a clarinet. But eventually, the irony is, once I started getting out into playing bands and stuff, they were the first ones there to watch. And I think the parental thing is, when you're sort of 15, 16, it's really when your life sort of has to start taking shape, right? So you've got university and high school and all that sort of stuff. And I was always a pretty good student. But I guess for them, they didn't want me dropping out of uni or sort of focusing so much on music that I didn't get that career stuff lined up, right? And I guess that's a valid concern. I dropped out of uni anyway, but the thing was, when you're that age, it's a surfboard, and then it's a karate outfit, and then it's it's rollerblades, and then it's a drum kit.
And the same parents.
I suppose, and it lines up in the cupboard anyway. But fortunately, I stuck to drums, and once they kind of realised that this pain was never going away, they started supporting it. And especially my dad, he comes out to all the gigs, and still he's 77, turned 77 last week. And he's one of my biggest supporters. He loves it. He's living
belated returns, mate. Belated returns to your dad. Well, we were very, very same. Yet different. I wanted the drum kit, couldn't get the drum kit, held out for the drum kit. By the time I got into my schooling, all the guitars were gone, and I had to do flute. And one of my mates goes, well, Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull plays flute. Yeah, well, mate, I don't have enough skill for that. So unfortunately, after about 4 years, dropped out of that. But glad you kept your one up, and
I have.
So, Woz has asked a question there. What uni course was I attempting? So I was doing a BA Dib Ed. I was actually training to be a high school maths teacher.
Okay.
The room goes
Nice.
Cricket.
At this stage, all I can say is it sounds like you and Billy had the same dad as you were saying. So it sounds like your old man was beating his own drum a bit. Something that you couldn't play drums.
I had a running joke when I first left uni, and someone says, drummers, and I said, look, most drummers can't count to 4. I can integrate it in parts.
The problem is that this is one smart drummer that can do it in fractals too. I did see Haz's comment. She did say drummers are hot.
Are hot.
Thank you, Haz. Are hot. Yeah.
I saw that. So she thinks you're hot too, Paul.
I had an epiphany a minute ago. I thought, hang on a minute, what we need to do, and I'm not to stifle anybody in the conversation, but I think we need to have at some point a interview each other situation rather than giving too much away now, Billy.
Yeah.
I have a question for Damo, which is, if your stream had a warning label, what would it say?
Yes, it's all warnings.
Just say insert warning label here.
Yeah, you will be threatened with a good time. Oh no. Warning: streamer is old. I never know what I'm streaming. You know, everything along those lines. It doesn't matter what I say I'm going to stream. It always goes in a different direction anyway.
We can share that one.
I don't have a hot tub or an OF account, so you know.
Hey.
Warning: I'm only as good as you see.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
I like that. Well, I have a saying at gigs, which is the more you drink, the better I sound. That's just how I roll.
And I've seen some of the people at Paul's gigs too, in person. Sheesh.
That guy that fell off his chair, I got to say, he loved you.
Yeah.
It was no worse than the poor lass that was hobbling around me that night. I was at Paul's gig, and the whole night she kept coming up to me and trying to hug me and trying to sit next to me, and it was hilarious. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god, she's back for round 5, round 6."
I thought you were wearing that one home, quite frankly.
Oh, dude, I almost did.
Fortunately, that kind of thing never gets old.
Twitch is,
by the way.
Twitch is, emotes are pretty important on Twitch. So I'm wondering what's your most used emote, Damo?
So I know one that gets used a lot is the little green dancing guy. I think he's a character from like The Office or something. I don't know. That was officially my most used emote. I know in my channel, because it's different what people use in my channel versus what Twitch has told me they're using. You know, throughout Twitch. But that little dancing one comes up apparently as the most. I know in my stream I'll throw it in the little dancing pedal thing is quite popular. This guy here, that one gets thrown around a lot in my channel.
Yeah, the bass
because I'm using double kick a lot. I'll show that little dancing man. I'll throw that one in chat too. There, this one here. Some of you will know what that is, but.
Carlton, hey.
The little boxing kangaroo one is thrown around quite a lot too. They use that one.
I use that one a lot, Damo.
That's an amazing emote, that a kangaroo, mate. I love it.
Favourites.
I've got a lot of good emotes actually. Like if I do say so myself, a lot of Australian themed ones. I've got Samboy Chips and Pizza Shapes and Tim Tams and Jars of Vegemite, and I think it's funny anyway.
I think it's awesome. And,
look at this latest one.
I've had to behave myself and not steal them.
Look at where is it now? This was the one I made last week. This is the kind of guy I am. Where is it? Oh, I'm not seeing it. Well, there was the ray gun one that I did. That was actually pretty funny.
That's awesome, that Damo Ray.
That's the other kangaroo one. I had a Kenny G one. I had Kenny G's album cover and it said Gee Whiz, but it was just the letter G. Due to popular demand, I thought that's a good emote, a good react emote that no one would get unless you're probably a Gen Xer.
Well,
there it is. Thanks, my pals. There it is.
Good work.
I think that's classic. I love it.
Damo, best and worst things about streaming.
Best and worst things about streaming.
Yeah.
Oof. Best thing, probably not having a cart drums around.
Oh, I swear.
I can go live when I want. I can play drums for as long as I want. I can end whenever I want. I don't have to pack gear. Doesn't have to be 2 a.m. when I'm getting rained on. I don't have to deal with those people that you have to surgically remove from yourself on the way out. Yeah, probably. And the community, of course. The community is great. There's always, a good bunch of people in my chat. Indeed. I know some people have people in their chat that are, it can get a little bit toxic, but fortunately, cross my fingers, it hasn't really ever been that for me. We're kind of pretty hard on behaviours, so we have a pretty good community in there. Paul, I know you do too, man. You've got a great stream. And I guess the worst, look, it's not really a worst thing, but I think because I have so much fun streaming and because people subscribe, and that's obviously a money thing, I kind of feel like I have an obligation to go live more than I can. And so I kind of push myself to say, I've got to go live. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't have a lot of time. Sometimes I don't feel overly creative. But it's like, no, people have literally paid to watch you stream. Get your ass on there and stream, So It's only worse in that it puts pressure on me that I know I shouldn't have. But again, I love the community and I do want to do more. It's just a time thing.
I'm not sure how we've lost Billy.
Billy is still here. He's just muted himself.
Okay.
He was dealing with something.
Cool. Now, Damo, now I do know for a fact that you have a sponsorship. So I could ask the question, if you could get one brand sponsorship, who would it be or why? But perhaps you would insert into there that you are, in fact, endorsed, I believe.
Yes, it's probably more complex than just that. But yes, I have had several endorsements. So Sabian obviously being the one that I'm sort of best known with, or had the longest time, it's probably a better way to put it. But I've also been at times an endorser of Promark sticks and also Damo drums for a period of time as well. So I had a few endorsements. I'd say like my favourite endorsement, and even if I wasn't, I mean, all of the stuff that I have and do endorse, I play, and I've played it first before wanting to get the endorsement. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm not one of these guys that will just jump to brands. But the Sabian guys, I've always loved Sabian, and I was fortunate enough to go to the factory and see them getting made and meet the family. And it's quite a small family. It's a big company, but it's a small family that runs it.
Yep.
And Canadians, I mean, I know we had some Canadians in chat earlier on. Canadians are like Aussies. They like to drink and barbecue, and they're casual people and they're really fun people. And so I love the family. I love the symbols. But the sponsorship thing can be a double-edged sword. And so most of those sponsorships that I had have either been lost over time for various reasons, or I've actually sort of, given them up for various reasons as well. So, but yeah, I'd say if you had to be one, Sabian.
Sabian, I'd take that too. We want you to describe your setup in 3 words.
Are we talking about my electronic kit or my acoustic kits?
You can take your pick.
Yep, open-ended, mate. So it could be about your streaming setup or whatever you want.
Work in progress.
Excellent answer. I love that.
I'm constantly changing my setup, constantly changing it. Even, again, I was saying before how I play different styles. In different bands, I need different sounds. And so, I've got about 20 cymbals and I bring about 3 of them to a show. It really just depends what I'm doing. So it is very much a work in progress. If I find something better, a better way to set up, a new way to do things, then I'm all for it.
Fantastic.
Yes, I think I do. I think it might have been the Amber Lights crew, and I think they stream Wednesday nights. They're a band from over in Sydney, and they were actually one of the first streams that I watched. Those guys are great.
Mm-hmm. We also had another question from Conspiracy Guru as well. Charlie Watts or John Bonham, and why?
I respect both of those players and listen to neither. But I would probably say if I was to pick one, probably Bonham, only because of his influence on rock, which is kind of where I spent most of my time.
Good answer, mate. Good answer.
So many great players that I don't sound anything like, and whose music I don't listen to. But given my career with teaching drums, obviously I get exposed to those players, and I've met a lot of those players through my dealings with when I was running a music store. And so, yeah, I've met a lot. I know a lot about them, but everyone's got their preferences, right?
Correct. Yep, I'm with you. Most chaotic moment on a live stream.
On a stream? Oh, that was actually, that's an easy one. That was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had a guy come in, I won't name names, and just started dropping subs all over the place. It was huge for me because I don't, being a drum streamer, it's a pretty niche thing anyway. And we're on what is predominantly a gaming stream. I mean, let's face it, we've got our communities, but we're never going to have, particularly without having a hot tub, I'm never going to have 1,000 people watching me on a stream. In fact, I probably have less than I would now if I jumped in a hot tub and streamed. But I don't have a huge community. So, for me, having 15, 20 people watching me is great. And if I get, a couple of subs thrown in the stream, that's even better. But this person came in and started throwing 100. And so that to me, it's like, what's that noise? Oh, it's a raid train, something that I set up once upon a time and never get to hear it. And it just kept going and kept going. And obviously I was very, very thankful, but it was chaotic because I really didn't know what to do. It's like, do I do more than what I would for somebody who would offer 1 or 2 subscriptions? And my ruling is pretty simple in my streams. Is if you subscribe, I'll play a song of your choice. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too. But then you'll pick from my 800 odd song list, but you don't get your choice of song, right? So if somebody's giving me 5 subs or 10 subs or 1 sub, it's pretty much the same thing. I might give you a couple of songs if you're donating a bit, but 100 subs, I mean, if I offered them 100 songs, I'd never get off. I'd probably end up in a coma. So I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really know how to adequately thank them for doing that. But I mean, they were really cool about it, and it was a great stream, and you could just feel the energy lift. I was like really excited because it was like a first time thing for me, and other people started subscribing as well, and it just kind of had this blow on effect. It was very cool.
Wow. Rebecca has just asked, what instrument would you like to play if you weren't playing drums?
I would like to sing. I don't have the pipes anymore. I've actually got a throat issue as well, but I don't have the pipes to be a lead singer, but I do backups in my band, and I do enjoy carrying the odd lead song. So, and I do that live. I'll sing 1 or 2 songs live, but I'm enjoying singing. I'd love to be able to play piano and keyboards better than I do. I got through chopsticks and Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I had some lessons, and I can figure things out, and I kind of know scales and chords, but I couldn't put a song together on keyboards. I'd have to accidentally find my way through it, you know what I mean? And of course, piano being the basis really of any instrument, I'd love to be able to do more with that.
I would concur with that one. What do you do when you're not streaming, Damo?
Well, I work a lot, so that's one thing. I work for an IT company, and that's full-time job. So I'm normally putting between 40, officially 40, but sometimes between 40 to 50 hours a week. Sometimes I'll do that work at night because my role is international. So I'll be doing Teams calls with people from the UK, or the US, or the Netherlands, and so it's all over the shop. So usually I'll be working, and of course I'll be out gigging on weekends. Sometimes I'll be flying out of town to do those shows. So that's a 2 or 3 day exercise. And if all that's not happening for that particular day or week, then I'm spending time with my wife, maybe watching a movie, maybe washing the car or cleaning the pool. Domestic daddy duties.
Oh, I've just lost my in-ears. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. Someone asked Damo a question.
Yeah, okay. I'll jump in here. It might be a bit left center for you, Damo, but what's something surprising your community might not know about you that if you're happy to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, look, hopefully there's a lot they don't know about me. That's pretty crazy if they know everything. Well, I've got really poor eyesight. There you go. That's one thing that people probably don't know. I'm almost legally blind in my left, actually. Born that way, just had very poor eyesight. So I'd wear contacts, obviously. If I didn't, I'd probably be facing the other way when the camera's on. So that's pretty bad. A couple of things. Nothing really exciting. Nothing gossip worthy. Sorry.
No, that's perfect.
I'm back. That was a rookie mistake, wasn't it?
Message from us. Do you write songs or compose the music for songs?
Absolutely. So I might not be able to necessarily find my way on the keys, with knowledge. So, for example, if I'm on a C minor chord and I'm thinking to myself, now, where can I go from the C minor? That's where the theory side of it, your knowledge of piano and scales and chords comes into it. I would never write that way. What I tend to do, being a drummer, I would tend to come up with either, a rhythm that I could put a guitar riff to. It's very rhythmic based. Or I would have a melody in my head and I would hear that melody move over different chords, but then I've got to go find the chords. So that's the accidental side that I'm telling you about. I have ideas. I know actually quite a bit about song composition because I listen to a lot of orchestral composers, guys like John Williams and Thomas Newman and Danny Elfman and all the cinema composers. So I kind of know where music can go. I just don't know why that works and why it doesn't. But I figure it out. And obviously because I listen to a lot of music, I know the hooks and the sort of the progressions that happen within country and how it goes with rock and where it would go with pop, and you'll go verse chorus and then verse chorus, then you'll have a break and then you'll go to the chorus. And so I've learned all of that stuff. But for me, if I was writing a song, it would be have an idea, find a way to rework that idea a couple of different ways. One of those could be a verse, one could be a chorus, and literally paste them together. How does that sound? And in the process of doing that, I'll then bring the band in and go, here's this really shit idea that I have that I've like tabbed out on a drum set. So play this, and as we play it, then we get into that developmental stage where they'll go, well, shouldn't we be doing this instead? I'm like, yeah, probably, because I don't know what I'm doing. and then it gets built around that, but the core idea and the composition tends to be, something that I would write, or maybe another member of my band would do it as well. But I love writing music. I love coming up with ideas, and if anybody in chat's ever done that, that you tend to hold your ideas pretty close. In other words, like you might write a very basic song, but the fact that you've put a song together from beginning to end it has a lot of value, and you end up loving the music that you write. You never admit it to anyone else, but it kind of holds a special place in your heart. I listen back to songs that I wrote when I first started, and they're a little bit cringe, but at the same time, they bring back warm memories of me. That's kind of all I knew, and I still managed to churn out a song. It's good. It's good. It's like memory. It's like when you go over to your parents' house and they're looking through old photo books of you, and it's kind of cool, but at the same time you can get tired of it pretty quick and move on to something else.
I got a photo of me sent to me by my mother recently. That was me at about 9 years old, asleep in bed with a guitar under the arms. Damo. Rebecca in chat has asked if you follow the AFL, and if you do, which team? Being a Sandro.
You're talking Australian Football League?
Yeah, I believe so.
Are you Googling that?
What's this emote that's sitting in chat? Oh, what is this? Oh. What is this? Yes, I'm a very big follower of AFL. If you haven't figured it out, I follow the Fremantle Dockers. I was raised in Fremantle. And look, Freo fans don't often admit that they're Freo fans, especially the people who aren't, because, well, you can figure out why. It's almost as bad as saying you're a West Coast supporter at the moment. But, I love my football. I played football when I was younger. We go to the games. Both myself and my wife, we're members. We love our footy. We love it. It's the simple things in life, right?
Absolutely.
People switching to each other, killing each other to get to a ball that they just want to get rid of once they get it. What could be better?
And I have to confess, I do not watch football at all. In fact, Billy and I were discussing it, and I last time I watched a game, it was between the team that I used to support, Hawthorn, and his team, the Bombers. What year was that, Billy? The last grand final that I watched? Oh, we haven't got it. Let me
ask you, Paul, was Alan Jeans the coach?
Probably. Billy's got no mic.
Late 80s.
Have we lost Billy's voice as well?
No, don't think we have.
I didn't hear him then.
Oh no, we've lost his sound and everything. Hang on, give me a second.
Okay, while that's happening, how would your friends describe you versus the chat, Damo?
As in, how would it be different? Well, I guess I'm a pretty high energy guy, as you probably figured out, and perhaps a little bit straight edged for a musician. I've got to say, I'm not the only member of my family, parents included, that doesn't have a tattoo. I'm a clean skin, and I've been in metal bands that I've definitely had the opportunity. Chatters would probably think I'm pretty much the same, although I think I'm a little bit more adult in real life, because you tend to be more fun and a little bit more easygoing in chat. If I was only streaming, that would be me, but obviously I can't carry that streaming persona into my office job when I'm trying to sell 6 figures worth of software. So there is definitely another side of me, and I guess my real life persona is kind of a balance of work and play, right? But it's kind of hard to differentiate, I guess, because I try to be me no matter whether I'm on stream or in real life. Like, none of it is an act, but there's obviously different guidelines on behavior. But you're kind of getting the same person whether you're on chat or whether you see him in real life. I'm the kind of guy, so Paul, I've already threatened that I'm going to come over and see you at a gig one day, and I'm going to walk right up to you and give you a big hug. And I'm just that kind of extroverted person. And I probably am like that on chat as well, I think.
I think you. Look, I've tuned in many times, as you know, and I think you're just an outstanding communicator when it comes to streaming. You're always engaging with your chat. You just do a fantastic job, mate.
Thank you.
In terms of tough days, we talked about you're working, you've got a family, you've got the streaming. What keeps you going when it's that day when you get up and you go, oh, it's just dragging your feet? What keeps you going?
Money.
I
mean, wouldn't you guys?
I concur.
Look, money drags anyone out of bed if they need money, right? It's
putting food on the table.
If it's a day job, it's money. But there's a good reason to get out of bed every morning, even when things are tough, because every day is different, right? You got to get out there and do it. And sometimes the things that you think are going to be the worst things in the world, you get into it and do them, and opportunities open up, or things aren't as bad as you think, or things are better than you think they're going to go. And so, and I think perception and mindset is a huge part of that anyway. That even if you're having a really bad day, or your mindset isn't really there, as long as you think this isn't as bad as I'm thinking it's going to be, just get out there and freaking do it.
Positive attitude goes a long way, doesn't it, Damo?
Attitude, absolutely. And of course, I've got a lovely wife, and she's incredibly supportive of me. For the many hours of the week that I'm not able to spend with her, and we make obviously an opportunity to spend time together as well, but she's really understanding, and sometimes in relationships that's not the case, and that of course can make things more complicated. But fortunately I don't have that issue. I've got a lovely wife. We've been married a long time, and she's all for anything that I want to do to help myself become more successful and more motivated. And so things are good, but I think you can't understate the importance of having money, because money gives you options. That's just the reality of the life that we live in.
Yeah.
And so, do I want to work 40, 50 hours a week for money? Not necessarily, but because I work 40 to 50 hours a week, it alleviates other things that I would be forced to do that I really don't want to do. It gives me that freedom to, get a new piece of equipment to try out on stream, or to not have to struggle to do this, right? So I hope that's making sense. Money is not everything, but it's important in order to get you on the track to getting everything.
I always said that money doesn't make you happy, but it makes being miserable a lot more bearable.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
For our hang on, I've got to skip over this because this is for non-Aussie guests, so I'm going to scroll past that. And
see, also, I've got. I'll just quickly take a moment to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Just random user said, "You watch hockey?" I do not. The most hockey I ever watched was when I landed in Canada at the airport for about 5 minutes waiting to transfer to a new terminal. Hockey is not a thing down here because ice is not a thing down here.
True.
We do obviously have, the Kangaroos, who's the female Olympic hockey group, but no,
Field.
my thing. If I wanted to watch that, I'd probably put on UFC. Another question was. Somebody asked.
Jason Building asked about if you have a message for Phil, because he's going to be catching up with him on Saturday. So I think he's talking about Phil Smythe, who has been a little bit absent at the moment. But I don't know if that's really appropriate. For
I don't know.
Damo,
I don't know. That was directed at Damo. Actually, I think it was just a conversation going on in chat. That was an I think that was an Auntie Lynn thing. You just got gifted 10,000 subs. What would you do first?
10,000, you say?
Yep.
Oh shit! What would I do? What would I do first? I have no idea. I would. I'd thank the person. I'd probably play whatever they want for the next 6 months. I don't know. That's one of those hypotheticals that you don't
It is indeed.
ever sort of think. No, that's just not going to happen. It's not something I think about.
And I think that's also a fantastic attitude to take into Twitch, because let's face it, that's not a normal thing that happens.
I guess what would I do? Whatever the hell they want me to do, and ask them which organ they'd like me to donate.
Except for a hot tub stream. You'll never do a hot tub stream.
Oh, hey, 10,000 subs.
Yeah. I get my fat guts out for 10,000 subs. Your stream is a movie. Your stream is a movie. What's it called and who plays you?
My stream is a movie. Okay, let's see. Well, what do I do on stream? Well, I tend to. What do I do? I place. I don't know what I'm doing. People watch me, and that's entertaining. You know, it would probably be. You know, what it would be. It'd be the Truman Show. That's what it would be. I'm like this. Like I got no idea what's going on, and everybody's watching me for entertainment. That's what it would be. And you know what? Jim Carrey could play me because he did a great job in that movie. That's actually one of my favorite movies. That one. Well, that's so far before its time. That film. That was all before Big Brother and everything. It just nailed the way society was going to be. Like 10 years from the date of that film. Crazy.
It was. Crazy. I tend to think my life is like the Blues Brothers more.
I was just going to say.
You're one of those guys that just goes into the music store and starts playing, you know, nothing wrong with these actions. Is that you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got the chicken wire. That's a literal reference to the Blues Brothers, but
yeah.
I did that. I'll go Truman Show. I reckon my life is like the Truman Show. Everything feels like a product placement.
I like it. Yes. So this is... what's your streamer superpower or curse?
Streamer superpower. Ooh. I guess I can instantly transport people back to the 80s, whether they like it or not. Is that a superpower? All of my set list is all old stuff. I think good. You wait long enough, it all comes back into fashion again, right?
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I always think it's interesting because I know that you're a massive metal fan. That is your genre of choice, and yet you play a very eclectic collection of music. Whenever I'm in your chat, there's a lot of Australian stuff going around. We love the Baby Animals, which is something we share. But I think that's a measure of the depth of your musical taste and how you do your stream. I think that's a fantastic thing. If you were a whiskey, what kind would you be?
I wouldn't be a whiskey. I'd be a rum.
You'd be a rum. So you're a rum man?
Then I can hang out with pirates.
Well,
then pirates like me, and that's cool.
Since we're discussing it, what are we all drinking tonight, guys?
Oh, I'm drinking good old whiskey, Arbor.
Yep.
For the Billy.
Your Billy, what do you got there?
It's got Starwood.
Star Wars?
Starwood, the distillery's just near Billy.
Jedi whiskey.
Billy, can you just do me a favour whilst you're there, Billy? Can you just say something?
Yeah, check 1, 2.
Oh, yeah, you're working.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
You're back, buddy. Build your dream Twitch house. Who's in it? Who cooks? Who breaks the internet?
I break the internet.
My wife and my cat are definitely in it. The cat would definitely break the internet. And it'd be a pretty simple house too. You'd need to have like a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom, and like a massive streaming room. And that, you know what?
A Paul's house.
I'd buy one of the Big Brother houses. That's the other thing, right? Because I've got to get different angles on stream. So it'd be one of the Big Brother houses. There we go. How's that?
Fantastic.
There we go.
Good.
What's your cat's name, dude?
My cat's name is Lexi, and she's so named after the bass player or the ex-bass player from Steel Panther.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Steel Panther. Nice.
So this is an interesting story. So as you would know, Paul,
Yep.
Burmans, one of the best cats ever.
Yep.
There is a naming convention for Burman. So depending on the year that the Burman was born, you will name it a letter of the alphabet. That's if you're abiding by the very strict rules of looking after a purebred Burman. And when she was born, which I think was 2015, it was L. And so we had to come up with a name that had started with an L, and we went through like era and all these weird sort of names. She's a girl, so we were looking for a girl's name. And then my wife, who's a massive Steel Panther fan, she said, "Oh, let's call her Lexi Fox. Let's call her Lexi Fox." I'm like, that is the dumbest idea I did. But happy wife, happy life. So Lexi, it was
indeed,
and it's kind of cool.
Well, I didn't have to go through that we didn't have to go through that process because we adopted ours.
Right.
So
nice.
We got, I don't know what year W was, but that's the year that Winter was born. There you go.
Look, honestly, the cat doesn't know what the hell its name is. It's normally Puss or Bad Kitty. That's the only thing it responds to. We just call it Kitty. Lexi is officially the name, but she kind of looks around like something's going on when the name gets used. She's not used to it because we don't use it, but yeah, officially it's Lexi. And speaking of Steel Panther, I apologise, Jason. I did see you ask a question about favourite metal bands and why it is impossible to choose between Iron Maiden and Meshuggah. So both great bands. Have met both of those bands too, by the way, both very, very nice people. I am less of a new wave of British heavy metal fan than I used to be, and so I would take Meshuggah every day over Iron Maiden. My wife would be the exact opposite. She loves Bruce Dickinson, she loves Maiden. But it's all welcome in my stream. It's all welcome in my stream. I love them for very different reasons. I mean, you want to talk about stadium rock and guys that put on a show that you just never forget, got to be Maiden. When you talk about
100%,
when you talk about people that are pioneering a genuinely new sound in a literal sea of people trying to outdo each other in metal, that's Meshuggah.
That's Meshuggah. 100%.
Both people claim to being legends in their own scenes.
Yeah.
I think Bruce Dickinson's voice is the thing that gets me. Wow.
Incredible.
Wow.
There is one person I know, and I don't know if you can hear me or not, but there's one person I know that I know personally that we all know. He comes into certain streams who used to be able to actually hit the same notes as Bruce Dickinson, and that's Elijah Crow.
Wow.
Hey, wow.
And when I met him, I've known Elijah since I was in high school, or earlier. But he's always had this amazing, like, high pitched. He can hit the perfect pitch notes and the falsettos, and he just loves it. And that was his style, 80s style hair metal. So I know if he's in here tonight, Elijah, good to see you, bud. Hopefully you're feeling well, mate. But yeah, no, he's one of those people. And the reason I say that is it's really hard. Like I did when I was in high school, I'd try to do singing and started to join the choir and other things and try to get my voice for singing. And luckily, I was one of those people. I'm 6'3". I have been since I was like 12. Mum stuffed us full of steroids with the chickens that she fed us. And both my brother and I are bloody tall. I'm built like a brick shit ass. My brother's built like a twig. But I got into singing for a long time. And you can imagine someone my height, 6'3", and I'm able to hit some of those high notes for like doing Freddie Mercury's Bohemian Rhapsody. Nothing like Freddie. I sounded like shit, but you know, you can imagine someone my height, you know, like really high, like full on high notes and sustaining them. And then you see me outside, and I'll be just talking to you like this. And about 4 weeks later, how you going?
Well, look, it all dropped in. Well, size doesn't mean a thing. I mean, if any of you guys know about Russell Allen is the lead singer of Symphony X. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5". He's a mountain man.
Yeah, he's massive.
And the range on that dude is incredible. So
I don't know if we've got the ability to do the poll. However, getting to the end of my set of questions, we need you to describe your setup, your streaming setup, Damo. And the idea was that the viewers would vote on the chaos level and how complex that is.
My setup, oh man, I already know the answer to this. It's complex. So you want me to just talk about what I use?
Sure, I'd love you to. Yeah.
Or if you wanted to, if you have the camera, you can actually just walk us around it.
Well, that's fixed. So no, I can't move this camera. There's 4 cameras in this room. So I have one that you're looking at now, and when I'm streaming, I'll be back there and I'll adjust the focus, obviously, but I'll stream from back there. That's kind of like my front view. I have one that comes out of my ceiling and points directly down. So I have a bird's eye view of the drum set, which is quite a cool way of showing people what's actually going on when you can't see it from the front. And then the 2 others, I mix and match. One of them is kind of over the shoulder. One sometimes is on the bass drum showing what my feet are doing. So all of those, they're all plugged into a PCI card, and it's called the Elgato HD MI Pro. It's basically a 4-slot HDMI card. I also have the single version. I think it's called a 4K 60 Pro. So I could still add another camera, but I'm actually contemplating going a different way. So I've got up to 5 cameras I can use. I'm using 4 at the moment. They're all Sony Alpha 6400s. I have a couple of different lenses on them. This one is a Sigma lens that you're looking at here, which is really, really affordable and quite good quality. So as far as the audio is concerned, I'm doing things a little bit differently. Everything goes into OBS, so I'm using OBS to run everything. The sounds coming out of my drum set, they're all stock sounds, so there's no USB plugins or anything like that going on. It all comes out. I've got multiple channels coming out of there. I could just run it as a stereo signal, but if you've got independent control, why wouldn't you use it? So there's 8 channels coming out of there. One's kick, snare, all of the toms I think are together, all the cymbals are together, and that all comes into my X32 rack. Now the X32 rack it's quite a significant mixing desk. I could mix live shows with it, and we do. But it's all run into there because then I can add some effects. So I can add some reverb effects. And I could do that to the drum kit, onboard the drum kit anyway, but the effects that are on this mixing rack tend to be a little bit more palatable. And then that actually goes into a second interface as stereo. Yeah, it's a little bit complex, but I deal with my audio and my video completely separately. And then for song requests, I use an app called, it's through Stream Elements. So Stream Elements is an app service or an online service. And what you can do is you could actually drop a YouTube clip into my chat with !SR in front of it, and what that will actually do is it will cue the song into a list which I see, and so I could literally rattle off one by one all of the requests that are coming in. So there's a fair bit going on. I've got my video content, my audio content, plus there's also YouTube content that either myself or my chatters are basically throwing requests into a chat queue. When I go live, it's a little bit differently. So if like a live concert, generally what I'll do is I'll bring a laptop rather than PC for obvious reasons. I will have a single, what is that called? The little dongle that Elgato use.
Capture card.
The 4K capture dongle.
Capture card.
I'll use that. But of course, I'm bringing my mixing desk to the gig, so same audio setup, except rather than taking some direct outputs from an acoustic kit, what I'm actually doing is plugging real microphones onto an acoustic set, and basically the same thing, multiple channels into the X32, and then that goes into my second interface, which I will use as a left and right full stream. You
have the distinct advantage of being in IT as well as being the live musician. That's got to help.
My role in IT is really just to talk, as you can tell. Man, I'm not a network guy. I don't pretend to be. I hang around people much smarter than I are.
I concur again. I do that as well. So I think in terms of my list of questions. Yeah, that is. Go on, Metal. Sorry.
It's certainly I would put it up there if it was me voting, which I'll put the poll up in a second in the chat. People can vote on it. It's going to be basically, I would say, somewhere around out of when we're saying the poll, 1 is I just use a mobile phone. To 10, I look like Paul T. Entertainer and Pete Northcote added together on steroids. In that sense of like a complexity, you guys will take a vote in a second, and you'll be able to put that in the chat. I'll give everyone a minute or two to put the votes in, and then going forward, what we'll do is every stream, if we have a person here, if we ask the question, the poll will come up. It all goes together to this channel, and we'll maybe have some sort of collab with somebody and maybe give out some prizes at the end of the month or whatever we decide on. We're still getting things underway. So thank you very much, Damo, for giving us a look into you. I'll start the poll in a second so you guys can start voting. It's a vote between 1 and 10. So in the chat, type in a number, it'll count it. Everyone gets 1 vote, and we'll see what the outcome is from the voting on the chat. So that's gone live now. There it is in the chat. So go ahead.
What's your next gig, Damo? Well, that's happening.
Just before that, it only gets chaotic when I have to get my lighting sequences to work. I won't even talk about that. So my next gig is tomorrow night. Actually, I'm at a place in Fremantle. Actually, did I show you my cup with my Fremantle logo on it? Right. I'm there tomorrow night. It's a place called Honky Tonk. It's a honky tonk bar, so we're doing country stuff again. I want to stream from there one day because it's a very cool place to stream from. Problem is the internet sucks. Fremantle is kind of like old school Melbourne. It's old heritage buildings. you know, there's mice running around with internet cables. Like, it's not the most reliable place to stream from. But you know, it's good fun. And it's really good.
I love it.
One of the shops we have in Fremantle for my business, we still pay for the rats to be pushing the wheel around every day for the internet for them and the power for the site. So yeah, I kind of understand what you're talking about there, Damon.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is because I'm having a birthday next week, I'm actually flying out of the country. So fortunately, I don't have any gigs this weekend, and probably for the next 2 weeks. So I'll be looking forward to doing that.
Would you like to would you like to share with us what you're doing for your holiday, mate?
Yeah, so I'm flying to a little place called Kota Kinabalu, which is in Borneo. It's a couple hours.
Kinabalu.
Yeah, it's
Billy, I knew Billy was going to get excited.
Times now, so I went there for my honeymoon 20-something odd years ago, and we just had the best time. It's basically Bali without Australians, which makes it great. And so we're going to fly there on
Fantastic.
Hang on.
and so we fly there this Saturday. We fly to.
Sorry, that was a bit loud.
No, that works, mate. It works.
I fly out at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning this coming, and then I collapse by a beach pool. So we fly to KL first, Kuala Lumpur, and then
KL.
the connecting flight. We run to the transfer gate. We eventually get to KK, and it's a very, very lovely resort that we stay at there. And we've got friends there now because we've been there so often, and we go back there every year, and we just love it.
Fantastic.
Where do you stay, if you don't mind me asking?
So we play. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. We stay at a place called the Tanjungaru, which is it's basically right on a point. So you got water all around you. It's 5-star. It's not as expensive as it sounds, but it is beautiful. It is a lovely place. And you know, the Malaysian people are just amazing people. They're so warm and so giving. And you know, there's people that have been working there for 20 plus years. You know, they were there when we first started coming. And they're still there, and they're all looking forward to seeing us, and they take us out to the movies and stuff. And it's just, you know, we consider a lot of them friends now, and it's puts a very different spin on a holiday. You know, you go to a nice resort, and you have all these people sort of working around you, and that's great. But when you kind of know the people that are helping you, it takes on a completely different dynamic. It's really cool.
Vastly different, isn't it?
I think Southeast Asia is as a destination is just outstanding. I've done Bali, but Thailand is my favourite spot to go. And much like yourself, we keep going back to the same place. Although our next trip is going to be somewhere a little bit different. Okay, I tell you what we're going to do. Damo, you are welcome to hang around and join us in what's left of the stream. I've got some stuff to share, which I'd love to do from our weekend, the long weekend, which we spent in Melbourne with Billy. So I'm just going to round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Damo Drummer, and thank you so much. You're a legend, brother, and the fact that you were keen to come on for the first stream was very, very brave, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you, sir.
Happy to be the guinea pig, my friend. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
And I hope you have an awesome trip. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Enjoy that.
Do I stay on here and mute myself, or
No, you don't have to. You can stay in. You can stay here. You can chat with us for the rest of the stream. It's completely up to you.
I'm going to mute.
Otherwise, if you want to head off, you can always head off.
It's entirely your choice, sir.
I don't know much to do. I'm a couple of runs in now, so I'm good. Entertain me.
All right.
Well, we can do that. The outcome of the poll, Damo, just before we move on, the polls closed, and it was an even score between 2 votes for 4, a scoring of 4, 2 votes for a scoring of 8, and scoring of 9.
What does that mean?
No idea.
So it means that people are either somewhat okay to being sort of a good setup to being a really insane setup. So I think it's pretty fair to say it was a good setup.
It's insane when things go wrong. Let me tell you, it's not always easy troubleshooting. But when you're doing audio, obviously, like if you're playing drums or playing music, audio is everything, right? And so we have to put a bit more effort into that. And lighting, in case the audio sucks and you're not playing good songs, you have to kind of entertain people other ways. So, yeah, I don't have a hot tub or an OF, so we don't really have like a nice way of entertaining if the audio is bad. So the audio needs to be good.
Yep.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you, Damo. And as I said, don't feel like you have to leave, but I would love to do this. So we're going to share. I'm going to share some video from our weekend in Melbourne. Bryce and I went to Melbourne and caught up with Billy and H and had an absolutely awesome time. Actually, I didn't film any of the girls. Well, maybe a little bit. So we'll do that. Here we go.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. With Billy. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Train station and a trio of whiskey bars. Woo! You ready to rock? Bring it. Let's do it.
What's on the menu, Billy?
Cocktail of the month is the Venezuelan vintage 28.
Now, what was it, Billy?
Well, we're at Eau de Vie and often referred to as Australia's original modern-day speakeasy. Harks back to the final years of what has become known as the golden age of the cocktail. 20s America.
Perfect.
Nick and Nora's. Awesome. What is it, cocktails and champagne or something? Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you'll have to leave the shield behind. It's the child.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Amazing. That looks like a tarot chip.
I'm liking the look of that one. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. Enjoy, guys.
Like the sauerkraut. This is pickled cucumber and confit potatoes.
Look at that. Wow.
What's that like?
Maybe it tastes like something.
Train station.
I need to stop that.
We can do it.
Boys.
Here we go. Here we go.
It was an awesome weekend. Thank you, Disky, for the applause. Melbourne looks fine. And somebody mentioned, it was Disky, not very sensitive fire alarms. No, and I don't know about Billy, but I had a ball.
Oh, mate. I still just can't believe everything that we did, man.
I can't believe we didn't get to the third bar.
From the heart of my bottom.
Good old Pete Northcote, that one.
Yeah.
Look, if you guys in the chat haven't already gathered it, there's the link to Damo's channel, guys. Please give him a follow.
Oh, hell yes. Thank you, Metal.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Damo. You're an absolute legend to watch. And I know I probably pissed the hell out of you when I'm coming into your channel asking for random songs. I know you look at it and go, why Metal? Why? But you do an amazing job with them when you can, mate. And it's always great to watch. So if you guys haven't been watching him, go check him out. Watch his next RL gigs. Watch his live from home studio streams, because I highly rate him. And as people follow, it will trigger lights and everything, as you can see from Damo there.
I'm also going to mention Damo has an absolutely sensational YouTube channel. There's a link in the chat. Yeah. I genuinely have learnt a great deal from Damo. I have an X32 rack, and that's my in-ear monitoring system, and I learnt a great deal from watching Damo's YouTube channel. There is all sorts of good stuff on there, including how to read drum notation. Let's talk about the learning process, which is around drumming. He's got a walk you through how to play Cold Chisel's Case Hand, for Christ's sake. There is nothing better than watching, and some snippets of the band. We've got Renegade doing a rehearsal cover of Proud Mary, Tennessee Whiskey.
Oh yeah.
And some how to read drum notation, how to clean your drums. There's nothing this guy doesn't do.
Has he done the video on how to convert the drum kit to digital?
I think that's when you'll have to watch, Paulie.
Say again.
I said he has not.
Damn.
I was actually consulting ChatGPT just today about that.
I will say we've actually had Parker, who is the unfortunate one, also talk about how he did the same sort of similar thing. But you know what? I guess we all enjoy watching a good musical stream. So yeah, guys, as I said, go check him out. Go follow his YouTube. Give him a follow and a like. Go check his stream out, and don't forget to tell them that the Mashup sent you. And mate, thanks for coming in. Paulie, what's next on the agenda, mate?
I'm out of ideas, man. And what we could do, I thought though is mention that we will stream fortnightly at this point, and so we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We will have whiskey of the month, so we will have our whiskey, which is this is some of Billy's brilliant work, ladies and gentlemen. This will be what will happen when we have our whiskey club. We'll do this. And then we'll be right here, if our guest sticks around like Damo has, in the Whiskey Lounge.
And then we randomly appear out of the channel, out of the corner of the eye.
Sipping our whiskies.
It's fresh. It's not a new carpet.
But I think...
It's that new car smell, Damo.
It's exactly what it is.
Paulie knows all about that.
Now, here's a question. Seeing as Damo's here, we've got the Whiskey of the Month thing up. And we're all not obviously drinking the Whiskey of the Months from this month. I am drinking the Whiskey of the Month from like 4 months ago.
Pretty good.
But how do you drink your drinks? Because I know there's a lot of people who, like me, who drink it neat. No ice, no nothing, no water. And there's people who drink it with ice, like Paulie does. I think Billy's the same. Yep. So, whilst you're here, Damo, I know you said you drink your rum. How do you drink your rum?
Depends how much I'm paying for it. If it's good rum, no, seriously. If it's good rum, yeah, I'll drink it straight. And obviously there's spiced rums as well, which obviously you wouldn't mix those. But if we're just talking sort of straight rums, if they're good rums, something like the Beanley's pretty good. Diplomatico is obviously a very nice one. Then yeah, it's going to be neat. It's going to be straight up. If I was drinking whiskey, it's actually kind of the same answer. It's expensive, I'll drink it straight. But I'll probably let the ice melt a little bit so that you get a bit of a mixture. So just pouring it into a glass with nothing and drinking it straight, that can sometimes be a bit harsh. Depending on the whiskey, you actually probably should let it mix a little bit with the ice, just to enhance, not only enhance the flavour, but it just takes away that burn a little bit. If it's cheap crap, then yeah, I'll probably mix it maybe with Coke, but I don't drink a lot of soft drink because it's a bit too sugary for me, so I prefer it straight.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, Damo. I think you nailed it, brother. I'm a fan of large blocks of ice, so it doesn't water things down just enough just to open that aromatics up. Guys, I am probably at the point, unless Billy or Metal, unless you have any ideas about something else you'd like to do, we will naturally have more things to come. And I'm not sure I can put together a video like that every fortnight, but I'll give it my best shot. Doing a lot of video editing of late, so it's a bit of fun. And I did have a different version of that video ready to go, but something happened. We won't get into it. What we're going to do is say thank you so much to all our viewers. Go on, Billy. You were going to say something.
Paulie, I was just going to say, what can our viewers be? What can they look forward to in some of the future episodes to come? Obviously, we've got our whiskey tasting. Potentially, we've got Metal and myself who do a bit of gaming.
Yes,
I do a bit of Lego building and a bit of guitar building on this, every now and again. So yeah, look, you could see anything and everything on the stream, and I'd like to put it out there to our viewers that if you want to see something or you've got some ideas for the stream, don't be backward in coming forward, because we'd love to host some of your ideas too.
Link to Discord.
Yeah, we're gonna link to Discord in the chat. So guys, if you're not already in our the mashup, it allows us to sort of keep the conversations there in the mashup. Go check it out. Follow the links. Get in there. Join the chat. There's channels already set up in there for everything, including hanging out. If you want to come and hang out with us, if we're in there and we're able to, that's where you're going to find a lot of fun stuff in there too. A lot of the links and things. Now, there's some cool things I've come up with that I want to do on the channel, which I thought would be pretty funny. I wanted to put up every fortnight when we come in, we're going to have, I would like to see a poll on funniest vids, because everyone has funny clips they get in this Facebook feed, the YouTube feed, the whatever. And if they think it's funny and they want to see it played on the channel, there is a channel in there called Funny Vids. So jump in there and put the clip in there. Please make sure. Obviously, we want to try and keep it a little bit sensitive, not allowing it to get too over the top, but some PG, maybe some light, slightly M stuff. There's some people following Damo. Jump in there and you can go ahead and put the link in there, and then there'll be a poll the week that we're not on, so on the Wednesday night for the following week, and you guys will be able to vote on the vids that get put in there. So after the show tonight, jump in Discord, put some links in there for us, and the funniest vid of the week that'll be voted by you guys will be played on the next stream. The other thing we're going to do is probably do little segments on music. Now, that's something that we've all agreed on. So we're going to have a segment where one of us will talk about a band or talk about some music we like or something we've heard or something we want to bring to the community, or talk about a band and open talk about it, because it's where we can have fun. Again, if you guys want to enjoy in that, jump into the Discord and you can find a channel there for that. And you can put some links to stuff in if you want to put some stuff in there. We'll also have what I like to call funny gaming clips. I'm all over Twitch, as you guys know. So there's a lot of people I get clips from. So every week of the stream, that is, I'm going to grab a random clip of a funny moment I've seen on a stream, and I'm going to stick it in that channel. And that way, if we want to talk about it and some funny things, we can also introduce people to the streamers. Go and check out those links and find them. We'll play them here. This one I put in there recently was one of a very close friend of mine from the US. He's a gentleman that suffers from cerebral palsy. Extremely funny guy. There is a clip in there. Go check it out in the Discord. And it's him driving trucks in a game called Out of Ore. So you're running a mining company, driving along, and basically you hear him with his voice say, "Oh no, I've fallen over and I can't get up." So go check it out, guys, in the Discord. We'll have it probably queued up for the next stream if we've got time. But again, this is all new. So if you guys want to give us some feedback, we've got a feedback channel for you guys to give us links in. Please give us some feedback if we think things work and don't, because we'd like to hear from you guys, because you guys, as much of this as we are, we're doing this for everybody to hang out. So the question for the mashup is, do the special guests had to be Twitch streamers, or can it be anyone from the street? Well, generally we're trying to promote Twitch channels and Twitch people, but if it's someone off the street, then I guess it'd come down to one of us contacting you, or getting in contact with them, or someone that knows how to use a webcam so we can get them on the show. But I guess it comes down to, it's usually guests that we will bring on that we can vouch for, because obviously we don't want to have people on here that are going to be, there are some streamers out there that are a little bit over the top and may not fit the sort of characteristics we want. But still, if you have a suggestion, chuck it in.
I think the short answer is there's a distinct possibility we may invite some regular viewers as guests at some point. That could happen.
Yes.
And I don't know. We actually, with 100% honesty, we don't know who our next guest is going to be, because we haven't got that far yet. But rest assured, there will be one.
Yes.
There is a list, and we're just waiting for some people to call.
Oh no, I have a number of people who said yes, happy to do that. We just haven't got around to it. It was actually, now Damo will attest to this. We had planned to do this a week later than we did it. So with the trip to Melbourne, all the things that have been going on in my personal life and work life, etc., getting this stream to happen tonight was one mammoth effort. And I've got to say a huge thank you to you, Metal, for all the tech side of it. I've sat here and put the scenes together and just made this end of it work. But mate, without you, actually, Billy with the Stingers, we've all worked really hard. At the time we had, to put this together. So I'm going to say another huge thank you to Damo, and I think we're going to call it a night there. We'd love it if you guys would come back and watch the stream in a fortnight's time. We'll keep you up to date. Don't forget to join the Discord, catch up with us in there. I think we may do a post-stream catch up in Discord if you're up for it, guys, just to say hello. And if you'd like to join us, you're welcome to. We need to do a debrief, I think, and just check how we went. Damo, once more, please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Damo. Give him your support. He's a genuinely fantastic guy, and we love him dearly. And as first guest on the mashup, mate, cheers.
We
Thank
survived.
you.
We survived.
You did.
No, thanks, mate. It's been very smooth, and it's just been a lot of fun. Thank
Indeed.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Great getting to know you too, mate. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Look forward to seeing everybody in Damo's stream at some point.
Your stream.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Now, don't forget during the week as well, Paul streams it as Billy said why, so go check out our channels as well. Those will be coming up in the chat. And we'll catch you all next time, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Anything else, guys, you want to say? Billy?
Appreciate everyone's support. Take care.
Thanks everybody for coming along and checking out the
I need to do one more of these. Billy, you bloody legend. Look at this. We'll see you all soon. Good night, folks.
Cheers.
Cheers.